Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. For the first time in a while, we're working on the Datsun. For Christmas, I got a whole bunch of parts. That is a new radiator, that's a new carburetor, and I think there's a little box, that one up on the chair is a new thermostat. Because the Datsun has a little problems. My thermostat sums up with that where it doesn't open up until the truck's overheating. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's annoying. The radiator, I patched it once before. That patch held, but the problem was once it held pressure, it blew 5 more holes, so that leaks. And my carburetor is so shot that sometimes the truck just doesn't start and it'll just stall randomly while running sometimes. So that's getting pretty annoying. And I want to, get all of those parts in and hopefully have a decent running truck for, a while. So first thing I want to do is I want to do a little cold start. There is a snowstorm happening. Can't really see, yeah, you can kind of see it. It's not that cold, it's only -5 out, so it's not really different from any other time I start it, but I still want to just show you how it reacts in the cold and how it starts. So I'm going to put you on the stand and you get to see. And that was start number 1. This is the problem it has. It does not like to start anymore. I don't know. I think some guy said it sounds like it's loading up, which they are 100% correct. But it shouldn't be doing that still, because it started offline, but you could hear it started running on like one to 3 cylinders. It shouldn't be doing that. So I would like to start with the carburetor, just because at least then I can see a noticeable difference and I can do the radiator whenever I have time. So I'm going to start pulling the carburetor apart and hopefully it should be quick. I've done it quite a few times now. So I'll get started. Okay, I just got the carburetor completely disconnected, so I can pop it off now. But I'm going to wait to do that because it's getting dark and I'm freezing. That -5 condition really does not help when I'm touching cold engine block the entire time. So I will probably pick this up tomorrow if it's a snow day and I don't have school. So see you then. There was a snow day today. Driveway is packed up. I tried driving the Dodge in the snow. Didn't really work well. There'll be a video of that probably before this. Yeah. I can finally pull this off. Where can I'll put this over here. There. I put the paper towel in there, or the newspaper in there, just stop stuff from getting in. And there's the intake. I'm gonna leave that. Yeah. So now I can go get the new carburetor. Alright. Brand new Weber carburetor. Got a whole bunch of parts, gaskets, and looks like new studs, probably for the intake. I don't think I'm gonna have to use those just because I already have. Well, I already have the old ones. A few different parts, and the whole carburetor. Just gonna see if that's actually getting. Yep. It's so nice. I'm so excited to have it. A new carburetor that isn't like having everything be stripped, things just broken, rotted, vacuum leaks. Because on the old carburetor, the choke shaft, like the thing that controls this, or the shaft that rides on, that managed to pop out the side. I didn't even know that was possible, but it managed to do it. Yeah. So this one's going to need a little bit of modification, but it should be, well, should be pretty good. Everybody else that has a Datsun, like a fairly stock Datsun, has one of those. So I also got a nice little air filter. It's going to be a lot different, but it'll be nice to have. And I got an instruction kit. Cool. So, I guess now I'm just going to start frigging around and see how I can get that on. I don't think it'll be that hard, but I know I'm going to have to modify, or there should be parts to do it, but I'm going to have to like swap that out just for the throttle. But hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. So, I'll be back when I get something done. Okay. I used about all 3 of my brain cells to try and figure out how this goes in without looking at the instruction manual. So this side faces down, like onto the intake, and it should end up like this, kind of. These holes are a little lopsided. I don't know if you can probably see it on camera. Like, it's not a circle. I don't know if like that one's almost a square. So I'm gonna go through and file out these holes a bit just so they can fit. And then I think I have to take off, yeah, I have to take off that spacer too. So I'll be back. So I got all of that stuff taken off and I got all of this filed. So now it went on the studs. I made sure to try it before I took the studs out. So it will fit on just fine now. And now I'm gonna go put this on. I can't forget there's a gasket in there too. I'm gonna put that on and I'll be back. So I got the spacer on. It's all ready. I got all the little studs in. So now I think it's time to start looking at this. It's a little heavy to do with one hand, but I think I read somewhere you can just pop this off and use the original, like this from the carburetor, which it does look like that. It looks like the same stud. So I'm going to hope that's the case and pop that off and put it on here, see if it works. Right, I got the original throttle linkage from the old carburetor and I put it on this one. Well, it's an exact fit. So that's all good. And I also put these extra 2 studs in because I forgot about them. So those are in now. I got the gasket on. And I think now I can put the carburetor on. So I'm going to put you on the stand and do that. All right. Don't think I'm missing anything. I think maybe I should file out those holes too because it's far too tight. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Yeah, those studs are definitely a bit too tight. So I'm just gonna file out these little holes because it's catching again. I don't know what they did, or like if they just got the measurements wrong or what, but it's still catching. So I'm just gonna take a file, just file it a little bit. Okay, attempt number 2. Wrong way. There. It actually goes on this time. Yeah, I don't know if it was. I don't know if they just like screwed up a little bit with the measurements, because I had to file out those holes before. You already saw that. So I don't know if they just. I don't know, or if they just didn't go over it after, but it doesn't matter. It's an easy fix. It's just all I did was just take a little file and go over it. Making sure there's no dust left. But yeah. It's a far different sight than what I'm used to. Want to see? I'm not taking it out of the package yet, but that's gonna be pretty cool to see. I don't really care how it looks. I'm just excited for how much better it's gonna run. No more stalling at traffic signs 3 times. But yeah. So I have to figure out this throttle cable. I'm pretty sure I got a different bracket for it. Yeah, I did. So I'm gonna swap throttle cable over to this bracket and bolt everything down, and it should be good. All right, I got the cable bracket swapped over, and I bolted down the carburetor too, because I knew it was going to be annoying. It's actually substantially easier to bolt this one down than the original one, because on this one, like, the bolts were underneath everything. This one over here is the most annoying. How am I supposed to get my fingers in that? Answer, I don't. Because I used pliers to get that on every time. But this one can actually reach. That's actually the easiest one to reach. The one under here is now the hardest, which is still really good. So, I think the next thing I have to do is just going to make sure this is all good. I don't want to have it just be weird. I'm going to have to extend this wire over a bit. Maybe. Probably. It feels like it turns a little bit. I might be able to just like spin that over and stretch this out. It would probably be a good idea to extend it. And I also have to swap this over to here, because I've seen the swaps on the regular Datsuns. They put the fuel line, they just stretch it out, make it come over here. I don't want to do that. I'd like to have it just come out over here. So I'm going to do that and just figure out what lift I have to do, and I'll be back. Remember what I said in the last clip about wanting to have the fuel intake over here? Ignore that completely. I had a thought that it might kink the fuel line. It did. And I didn't know I had a fuel line long enough, so it now loops around fully. So what I said, just ignore it. Anyway, I got the rest of the stuff hooked up. I got some vacuum lines taken care of. Vacuum Advance is all hooked up. Goes in there. This is not needed anymore. It did some sort of emissions thing. It went into here, turned this on, which allowed it to pull in hot air off the exhaust. That's what that little plate is. I might take that off later. But it's not needed anymore. And this line goes to this, which looks like it's a vent. It literally doesn't go to anything. Like, it goes into here, and then it just pops out of that hole. So, not quite sure what that's for, but I think I'm just going to hook up the rest of the carburetor, and I'll hook that up last, because maybe there will be like a vent in the air filter. So, I don't know. And if not, I'll probably just push it somewhere where there's nothing that can go in it. And the throttle. I hooked it up the best I could. I don't know if it can go full throttle yet from the pedal. I've tried. Like, if I go in and try and get you to a spot where you can see. I don't know if it can go any more past that, because that's the max on the pedal. So I'm going to have to get someone just to, well, hit the gas for me so I can see if there's any left. But for now, I mean, it's close enough to full throttle. Even if it's like here and that's full throttle, like that's still fine for now. Because at this point, idle is probably going to be stronger than the last full throttle. So now all I have left to do is just hook up the air filter, I think. Because I don't really have any parts left besides for just delete panels for EGR valves. This. Found the spring I lost on the original carb. There's a reason why I keep losing this stuff. Look how small it is. Look how small that pin is. I cannot find another pin that same size. I've been using nails on the old one. Anyways. Yeah, so the air filter. I'm going to... Should just pop on. I think there was like a gasket or something. I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow, because it's getting dark. So, I'll see you tomorrow. I decided that I'm just going to put on the air filter. I want to finish it off. It's the same day, it's just later. And I decided to take it apart because I was just really excited to see. Because very rarely do I actually have new parts and not something that's been used to oblivion. So, I just got a bit excited. And just looks like these are the clips. Ooh. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this together and I'll be back. Okay, I got the air filter ready for a test. Like an engine start. I only put 2 clips on out of the 6. Because I'm gonna have to take it off some point soon, because this is for the crankcase vent. So I'm gonna have to get a different line, because this one is way too short and wouldn't ever fit. Because even if I stretch it out, it's probably just gonna rip in half, knowing my luck with this stuff. So I think I'm gonna throw you on the stand and see if it actually starts. Hopefully it does. All right. So it'll probably be a while before it pops off, just because there's no gas in it, but we'll see anyways. Must be gas from the intake. Oh. Okay. I think the idle's set a bit too high. But it runs. So that's good. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to do some frigging around with that. There might be a vacuum leak somewhere, maybe. I'd say I doubt it, but at the same time, with my luck, that probably is like a main vein or something. I don't know. But for now, it actually does start. I still have to hook up the choke. So, I mean, not bad though. It started up fairly fast. And yeah. So, I'm actually going to end today off because it's so dark and it's like -4 now. So, see you whenever I can get back to it. It is now 2 days after, and there was another storm day. So, no school for me. Now, I can keep working on this. So, when I ended off, I had that to deal with, crankcase, vent, and I still have to hook up the choke. So, I went out to town, and I got I think it was Radiator hose, which looks about the same size as that. So, yeah, it fits though. So, gonna hook that up. I have to turn the choke around to fix that, and I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about this yet, because I don't know what it does. So I think I'm just gonna leave that for now. until I see how I can just patch it up, or if it even needs to be patched up. I don't know. So I'm gonna get those other things fixed and I'll be back. Okay, so all of that's done. I got the hose cut to the right length and put on. I could still use that clamp, but this was a little bit smaller than this. So I had to use a actual hose clamp, which doesn't get in the way. It still looks decent. This is still blocked off. I'm gonna have to get like a vacuum cap or whatever they're called. And I also did the wiring for the choke. I adjusted it a little bit. So it'll work for now. It's gonna need more adjustment. Well, soon. But for now, the choke is hooked up. I just did all the wiring. I did the best I could because I really care about this. And yeah, so that's hooked up. I still don't know about that. I'm thinking I'm just gonna leave it until I get it running and see what it does. I really don't know. I might just put like a little tube on it and move it somewhere or connect it to something else. But for now, it's good. And I now get to put the air filter on fully because I only put 2 clamps on before. So I'll be back when that's on. There, it's all together for once. And I even just shined it up a little bit with the paper towel. Just because now that it's shiny, I have a strong urge to clean it and keep it shiny. But it's looking pretty good. Looks different. It looks a lot different from my 5-pound air filter, but I like it. And I know it's just going to run so much better now that I have it. So now all I have to do is start up and tune it, which I'm going to do tomorrow. I know this is a common theme of this video, but I have to go to work in like 10 minutes, so I'll see you tomorrow. It's the next day again, and today is the day I get to tune the Datsun up. I just want to get it so that I can start it, go on a drive, park it, let it cool down, start it again, and just do normal car things. So I'm going to start by lowering the idle a little bit, because when I first started it up, it was pretty strong, or it was running pretty fast. So I'm just going to bump that down a hair, and I'm just going to let it warm up, and I'll be back. I just started it, didn't even touch the carburetor. I just hit the gas pedal. It's already running so much smoother than it used to. So I'll be back when it's warmed up. It's still not warmed up. I still just want to show you how smooth it is. It's at 2000 RPM. It's fairly quiet and there is no vibration. It hasn't missed a single time. It's amazing. So this time I will be back when it's warmed up. A little bit to go. Okay, I got a few things adjusted. I adjusted the choke to be a little less because it was staying on for a little long. And I bumped the idle down to, I think it's 800 RPM right now. Running fairly smooth. Don't really know how it drives yet, so that's what I'm going to do next. We're going to go on a little quick test drive just down the road. So, get you in the car and we'll start. Okay, I'm going to start by pulling out and see if it can even do that. Okay, a lot more sensitive. I think the choke's staying on. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, so that should be it. Gotta figure that out. Very, very responsive though. Feels a lot better. The choke is, I'm probably just gonna have to like just put a little bit of effort into fixing the choke. Whoops. Right, I'm gonna try again. Camera fell down the first time, but it's working pretty well. like there's no vibration right now. And it's a lot faster too. So I'm just gonna go turn around and I'll get back home. Okay, I just got back from that little drive and that was pretty exciting. That's the first time this truck has actually managed to pull up one of the hills around here in third gear and still accelerate. I can't believe that. Ronnie is like on the other side of the truck now. Over here. So he went flying when I did a turn because I didn't expect how fast it was. And that felt really good. The only problem I'm seeing is that the choke, I'm pretty sure it's like stuck on or it's staying on for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. I'll have to do a little bit more work on that. I might have to take the air filter off, just see which way tightens the choke. And the return spring for the throttle, I think I'm gonna have to get a heavier one. You can see it, it's this right here. I think I might have to get a heavier one just because it is like beyond easy to hit the gas pedal now. So I was having an issue doing that. Not from how heavy it was, just because of how light it is. Because typically it would take a lot of force just to do that. But I'm doing it with my finger and my finger's not bending. So that's just something to think of. And other than that, I think it worked pretty good. So I'm probably just going to spend a little bit of time just doing some tuning off camera just to get it really honed in. And yeah, I'll be back when I have, well, everything good. Well, it's been about 2 days and did a little bit of off camera work. And I found a throttle spring in one of the little bags over on the table. So I'm using that now. It is a lot stiffer than the old one. Like quite a bit stiffer. But it's better than the very soft one. And I found out the old one, like the one I was using before that one, apparently it wasn't even strong enough to bring it back to the idle position. So where that little screw is hitting the thing, it would sit away like here, because there was also a little piece of rubber on my throttle line that was sticking. So I figured that out, and I'm still doing a little bit of work with the choke. So that'll probably be just trial and error, figuring out where it likes to be. But in the meantime, I have a second part. A radiator. Because this one sucks. I tried patching it before, and it ended up just blowing another 5 holes the second it made pressure. Which it's still doing. You can see like there's just residue all over, like everything's orange. So I want to get rid of that, and I also got a new thermostat. Pretty sure I said this at the start of the video, but I don't remember because that was like 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to start by draining all the coolant out and taking the lines off. I got most of everything apart. I got the radiator drained. There's probably still a bit of coolant just in the engine and whatnot, so I'm not taking that line off just yet. Radiator is drained though. I got the top line off as well as the thermostat housing, which I'm gonna replace that right now because I don't know, just get out of the way. I just cleaned this up, so I'm just gonna pop that out and put in the new one. Okay, I got the new thermostat in, and I did have to make a new gasket because the old one, if I can find it, was made out of what looks to me like milk, maybe? So I ended up making the new gasket out of a different kind of milk, silk milk. I just found it in the trash. I don't even know where it's from. But it should work the same. If this worked, then the other one should work. Never even noticed it before. but it's all new now. And if it leaks, then I'll probably just put like a sealant on it or something. And where did I put that other one? Over here. This was the old thermostat. It's it's there. It did work. It just had to get really hot for it to open for some reason. And now it probably won't work again. So, hopefully that one will work. And now I only have, I think, 4 more bolts to take out the radiator and that line. So I'm going to do that tomorrow just because it's getting really cold out. And it's like 5:30, so see you tomorrow. It's the next day, and I got the radiator out. I'm not sad to see it go. I'm used to seeing it in there, but I think it's going to be a lot nicer to have a working radiator that doesn't spray coolant over everything. That's what all that orange is on the engine and the temp or the thermostat housing. So it'll be nice. And I have the new radiator right here. So I think I'm just going to unpack that and start putting it back in. Now, isn't that a nice looking radiator? I brought it inside to show my grandfather, and he pointed out that this was crushed. It was like flat on this side, which it was like damaged in shipping. So I not straightened it out. I did the opposite. I rounded it out a bit. So it's better now. And I'm going to put it in the truck and I'll be back. Okay, I got the radiator in and I got everything back together. It was a horrible pain. I don't know if like if this is the side of the radiator, this is kind of how it was. Like it was bent off a little bit. I don't know, it was weird. But as a result, I had to file out each hole for the bolts. And then I had an issue. It went too close, so the lock for the hood got stuck. It was a whole mess of stuff. But I mean, it's in. It should fit. I got everything back together, and I like the look of it a lot. I really do. So last step I have to do is fill it with coolant. So I'm going to do that, and I might be back today. I have to go very soon, and I'm taking this, so if I record or not is a big maybe, but I'll be back. It's the next day, and the radiator worked flawlessly last night. It stayed at a little below what the old operating temperature was, which was good, because it went up like a year ago, ever since it sprung a leak. So it held very well. It looks decent. I shined it up a little while ago. I like the look of it. The one last thing I have to do is I have to get a radiator overflow, because I used to have this. It's a Pop Shop bottle, Lime Ricky flavor, and because it was green, it looked just like the coolant. But I don't really want to reuse this one because it's old. You can see it's got a little bit of belt dust on it. The sticker's peeling off. So I stopped down at the local store and I just grabbed a new bottle. So I'm going to drink that tonight. That light just came on. I'm going to drink that tonight and I'm just going to replace the bottle. Because I miss having it. I did like it. And I think it would just look nice to have it back. So I'll be back once I have the new bottle in. It's a couple days later and I got the brand new Radiator Overflow ready. Has nice new clean bottle. I even drilled out the cap just so that looks fresh. And it does look quite a bit better compared to the old one. And the old cap is, I think, over there somewhere. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I only have one screw to put in. And that should be the last thing I have to do on this. So I'm going to do that and I'll end it off. Okay, that didn't take long at all. It was just a little slow getting that one screw down because it's a little hard to reach, but it's in. Everything's together. Carburetor's all set up and working pretty well. I might have to bump the idle down a hair, but that's fine. Radiator is so far working good. I've only driven it like twice, so hard to say. And I also have the overflow all set up. I am hoping that everything stays clean, because I cleaned a few things and now the radiator isn't spraying coolant everywhere, so hopefully everything should stay clean, including that bottle. So that'd be nice, because I always did like when Grampy opened the hood and it was just the Pop Shop Lime Ricky bottle. It's coolant overflow. It's always been a neat little thing. So now that's all good, I think that should be the end of the video. I can't think of anything else that needs to be done. That start off the carburetor, did the radiator, and then, well, that's part of the radiator. But everything's working well. So I guess next time I'll probably just redo a 0 to 60 test. It's still cold out, so maybe I can get a cold start in. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.